What's up? This is MC Lars. You are listening to Journey into Comics. You!
And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Journey into Comics, a podcast about comic books, video games, movies, television, and everything nerd with your hosts, Nate Phillips and Brandon Stowe.
You're gonna see some serious shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, holy hell, welcome to another episode of Journey into Comics. I believe episode 110, if my math is right. We've been away at this for a while. Had a bunch of other versions of ourselves on our own channel. It's kind of like Inception up in here. Today, I'm Nate, as always, joined by my buddy, and that's not like a Pokemon buddy who follows me around and gets little Brando candies. Brando, welcome.
It's good to be here today.
Hey, it's good to talk to you, man.
It has been about a month.
It's been way too long. Like you said the last time we did Journey into Comics, I think your exact words were something to the effect of, this kind of happens every year, where there's this like stretch of time where stuff just gets, if it's not you, it's me. If it's not me, it's you. Just timing is poor across the board, you know? And we're in that time right now a little bit, and I'm really hoping to get away from it. Like, it's starting to settle down. It's getting cooler outside. Only so much more time I can be doing stuff outside that I have to be doing, as you know. So how have you been, man?
Okay. I don't know if I've actually discussed it on the podcast, but I went and talked to another specialist today about my glaucoma.
And what was discussed?
It was, the numbers were surprisingly in the good zone.
Okay.
Basically, the good numbers are 10 to 15. It's where they want you. And, 10 to 20. So 15 is the magic number for eye pressure. When I first started, I was at 36.
Whoa.
And then when I had my third appointment, I was about 24. And now I am at 15 in one eye and 17 in the other.
Whoa.
But this guy wants it at 12. Basically, someone who does have glaucoma, he wants you at 12. So we are going to be adding a third drop. I'll be taking 3 eye drops, and he's hoping that'll get me down to 12 in one eye, 14 in the other, and then we can laser the other, like probably laser both of them, but the lasering will it'll extend the glands for the fluid to escape the eye, and that'll decrease the pressure by 20%, which maybe we can drop a drop or two after that. I don't know. But essentially, this isn't a fix. This is like let's get this under control, and then we can have surgery down the line, like actual like operation table surgery. Basically, he's afraid to do that now. Obviously, he said if you came in here with the drops and your pressure was still astronomical, we'd be doing surgery right away. But since I'm so young, the younger the body is, the faster it heals. And the whole idea is I think I read about both the procedures, the laser and the surgery, they would completely carve a new canal, into the eye.
Whoa.
And create a new one. But if you heal too fast, that'll like start to scar over, and so it kind of defeats the purpose.
Man, I'm so glad that I'm just not really good at seeing with my eyes, and it's not the scary stuff, because I think that glaucoma and cataracts and all that stuff, when they gotta fuck with your eyes, I'm not cool with that, Brando.
I'm not either. She had to numb my eyes and rub something on, a little probe on my eye, and I couldn't feel it. She said keep staring forward, and I couldn't feel it at all.
That's creepy.
I could kind of tell she was doing it, because I don't know if you've ever pressed too hard with your finger with like on top of your eyelid. You can sometimes see like a little image of where you're pressing. It was kind of like that, but with your eye open. So I definitely tell she was pressing. Now they dilated me, right? And I'm actually still kind of dilated.
This should be fun.
Well, I mean, I'm sitting in like my dark game room, and the only light is coming from the laptop screen. Um, so I'm actually very comfortable. However, while I was doing this, it was like in the heat of the afternoon, so it was like I looked in the mirror and it looked like I could see the universe. You know, I could go sailing. It's kind of like the episode of South Park when they parody the animated film Heavy Metal.
Oh God, you're talking about the cat piss episode, dude. I
Yeah,
love that episode.
it was sort of like that, but like when they dilate you, it's like everything close up is blurry and everything really far away. Just like there's almost like a magic zone. It's like it, like if I looked at my phone, I had to hold it like a good 2 feet away from me to be able to even see it.
Whoa.
But then anything further than that kind of got wonky. It wasn't blurry per se, but it was wonky. And we were riding home, and I saw a billboard, and it said um, "Choose Experience," right?
Okay, yeah.
And my brain, I didn't see choose at first. I saw chode.
Chode
So
experience.
so then
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
I painstakingly posted that on Facebook.
Of
Like
course.
you know how hard it is to type 2 feet away from your face.
Pretty hard.
I had to type it so far and then bring it back up because I could see it if I took my glasses off up close, kinda. So I would like spell check myself and go back out and start typing all the way far away again and bring it back up. So our good friend Blaine said next Journey into Comics episode title is is Chode Experience.
So we're on the Chode experience right now.
We are.
Wow.
In fact, we are 100 episodes removed from the Button Menace.
The Button Menace. That's so weird that you say that because today I named the title of this episode Attack of the Chode Experience, I guess. And I guess that's a running thing because I thought exactly what you thought. We've done 100 episodes since the Button Menace. Wow, that's forever ago. So, Brandon, long story short, you were cheesing balls and seeing the universe, apparently.
Well, I was actually for a period. I actually just closed my eyes. I looked in the mirror. I've never actually seen my eyes fully dilated. It'll trip you out.
Oh, I bet.
It is weird. And then I looked in the mirror right before I came back here, and they were like kind of like more dilated than they should be. Still, obviously, they're coming down, but
And then my other question for you, man, real quick, not to bust your chops on air, did you not think to just do voice to text?
she was listening to a podcast.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, that's fine. Uh, yeah. So I'm glad that you don't have to immediately get surgery. That's obviously a terrifying thing.
We're looking at maybe 5 years down the road. Maybe we're looking at the laser procedure. That's an outpatient thing. It's done right there in the office. That's going to buy us some time.
Shit, dude, in 5 years, technology? Come on now. Technology is going to be even cooler than it is now. They might have some other kind of technology to do it.
You know what? With the price of these damn drops I need to take, I'm hoping in 5 years, like either some of these drugs become a lot more, affordable, or because at least one of them, if not both of them, are not covered by normal insurance
Oh, that's awful.
because they're like, you know how our healthcare system works. I mean, if they make something that people absolutely need, they're going to charge out to ask for it. So
Of course, yeah. Oh, you need that to survive? Here. $3,000 a pill.
yeah.
Enjoy that. I could sit here and start ranting, Brando, about my weekend experience. Really, I could. But I kind of want to start with the review first, because for those of you who don't know, this past weekend we went to the Riot Fest in Chicago, and we had 3-day passes, so we did the Friday, the Saturday, and the Sunday. It was my first Riot Fest ever. It was Sarah's second, and I think it was Veronica's first. So, just to kind of break down a little quick review, as far as music is concerned, Friday and Saturday, Friday, tons of talent. I saw some really awesome acts. but I didn't emotionally connect with any of the music at all. I was just like, oh, cool, I'm seeing Jimmy Eat World. That's neat. Oh, cool, I'm seeing Pepper. I saw this band, The Flaming Lips, which I guess they did this song called Vaseline.
I've
Like,
heard, yeah,
okay,
I've heard of the Flaming Lips.
okay.
I'm not a big fan, but
But they don't make that kind of music anymore, I guess. They went all EDM because they're friends with Miley Cyrus. What the fuck? So, like, they did, like, a couple songs and the crowd was super into it. And then they just went into this weird EDM shit. And I swear, 80% of the people just left.
that's sad.
It was bizarre. I was like, how do you not know how to, like, how do you not know how to build a set list to make people feel a bunch of things? They jumped right into the EDM stuff so quickly that people were just like, if this is all they're gonna do all night, I'm not really that down, you know?
And, there was a band. I remember reading something. It was one of the '90s bands that kind of had like a big hit, and that was about it. I think the band's name was Seven Mary Three.
Cumbersome.
Yeah, Cumbersome. And some band member was bitching about how people would come to just see them play Cumbersome. As soon as they did, then they would leave. And he goes, so people will come like halfway through the set, we play Cumbersome, and then they leave. I'm like, why would you put it in the middle of the set?
Yeah, put it at the end. Make them stay till the end.
It's like, let's use this basic example. During the heyday of the Black Album, do you think Metallica played Sandman first?
Sometimes.
Sometimes they did, but not all the time.
Yeah. A lot of times it was the
like second or next to last song.
yeah. Damn near.
And it's been that way for years. But it's bands that can't build a set list, you need to. Building a set list isn't just throwing songs together at random on your Spotify account or on your or on your iPod, if people even still have those, on your Zune.
Hey, I'm rocking a Zune still to this day.
How is that thing still running?
It runs beautifully, man. It's awesome. It's an amazing piece of technology.
Is that still the Halo Zune?
No, I still have my Halo Zune and it does still work, but it's the actually the Gears of War 2 Zune, 120 gig Gen 2. But to continue on with what went down at Riot Fest, I want to move into Saturday, and Saturday's a little quick ditty. I don't want to talk too much about Saturday because I have a lot to say about Sunday. Pretty much stayed to see Morrissey because Veronica wanted to see Morrissey. He went on a half hour late, and I was already bored to tears. Do you know why he went on a half hour late, Brando?
No.
Because he had his booking agent go to every single food stand in Douglas Park, which is a good 2 miles long. Big, it's huge. Okay? To make sure no one was selling meat during his set. It was in the contract. I don't get that. What the fuck?
Now, if you want to live your life a certain way, I'm not gonna sit here and judge you. If you don't want to eat meat, that's fine, bro.
Totally.
You and your non-meaty ways, more power to you.
More meat for me.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Stay the fuck away from my meat. You're gonna tell me that if I want to walk up there and buy a shitty ass hot dog during a Morrissey set, they're like, "Sorry, bro, Morrissey said no." I'm like, "Well, fuck Morrissey."
That is exactly what would have happened, and what I'm pretty sure I read in the post because I didn't. We left like halfway through the Morrissey set, but from what I read is they just shut down the food area. Just shut down for the night. They were just like, "Whatever, we'll just be
and
done."
He was the closer for Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, moving into Sunday. So Friday, by the way, I'm dealing with either what you called a bone spur or what I feel is a bone bruise. Not sure. Thing in my ankle. It sucks. So I'm dealing with that. It's really killing me on Friday. It's really amped up on Saturday. So going into Sunday, I'm like, fuck. The day that I most need to be here is the day I'm probably going to hurt the worst. So we, take our time. We get to the city. All 3 days I found parking on this little hidden side street. I'm not going to tell anybody on air what it is because fuck you. I'm going to get good parking at Riot Fest every year. Unless I don't go. But anyways, we found this little side street. You didn't have to have a permit. You could just park. And I would always find spots. It was great. Just like a 2-minute walk from the stadium. So we park, we walk, we get into the festival. On Friday, to backtrack a little bit, we all bought Misfits shirts because, the whole fucking point we're there. And we are only 5 minutes into walking into the park. Veronica looks and someone has stole her shirt. So on Sunday, I went and bought another shirt for V. I was like, here, that sucks. But we can replace the shirt, no big deal. As soon as we walk into the park, Billy Talent starts playing, and I'm stoked. I fucking love that band. It was amazing to see them live. They have an energy about them that's like next level, honestly. They stole the show as far as overall energy and performance on the entire weekend, in my opinion. So we get done with that, and it's like, oh, well, let's go sit down for a few minutes. So we sit down for a few minutes, and we sit down, and some band is finishing playing. I don't know who they were. But on the other stage, right next to the Riot stage, which is where the Misfits were going to be performing, Dee Snider from Twisted Sister is performing. So I got to see him play. And he did like a slow acoustic version of We're Not Gonna Take It for like the first half of the song. It was all like slow and melodic, and he was all singing all, expressive. And then they just busted into the song, and it was cool. And that was pretty much it for that. So Sarah and V are like, hey, we want to see Tiger Army. I was like, cool, why don't we just go up there? No one's going to watch Tiger Army. Not like no one, but like not a shit ton of people are going to watch Tiger Army. We'll just get our spots for the Misfits right now. We'll just stand our ground the whole night. Boy, was that a fucking mistake. So let's get into the thick of the evening to kind of move this along. Tiger Army plays. The crowd's great. Mostly just people singing along. Very little pushing. There was like one tiny little circle pit in the far center of this crowd of people. Nothing major. Tiger Army was great. I loved watching them perform. After Tiger Army, on the far stage, Thursday played. I don't really like Thursday's music. Whatever, if you like Thursday and you get down with them, that's cool. So we were just standing in a crowd of people, listening to a band I didn't want to listen to. And then come back to our stage. Bad Religion's going to perform. Holy shit, Bad Religion was phenomenal. Genuinely coolest thing. The crowd was fucking insane, though. I've never been crunched so much in my life. Or so I thought. So after Bad Religion's done playing and they just killed it, they played amazing. I loved the set. It was great. Under Oath played on the other stage. Come back, and there's 2 bands we have to survive through. The Deftones and Rob Zombie. And then the Misfits are going to show up and blow our fucking mind holes. And I'm going to get to see history. So the Deftones go on, and legit thought we were going to die. I mean, the crowd was fucking insane. People were taking people's wallets and phones and hats and just throwing them into a sea of 20,000 people, because what we didn't realize while we were standing there for the Deftones is everyone else got the idea that, oh, the Misfits are playing soon. We might want to get our fucking spot. So we were 20 to 30,000 people deep because we were only 4 or 5 rows from the barricade, and there was, it got a little too intense, and we pulled ourselves out. We're like, fuck that. So we find decent spots, and we got to watch the Misfits, and it was amazing. It was magical. It was super cool. I mean, once in a lifetime experience, honestly. And that was Riot Fest. And I thought overall, the food is too fucking expensive at Riot Fest. One person can't eat for less than like $12. Half the places don't take cards. The other half do. So it's a guessing game of where you can actually get to eat. If you have to use the fucking ATM, it's a $5 charge from them, not to include the $3 or $4 charge your bank's going to charge you for using your card at a place you shouldn't have. So in that regard, fuck you, Riot Fest. Probably won't go back unless you reunite some other magical band that I actually give a shit about. Probably not going to happen. Brandon, you probably can't even name a band that like could reunite that would blow people's minds anymore. Guns N' Roses. I mean, and it already happened. It wasn't that exciting.
Probably the only one that I could think of is Led Zeppelin.
I don't even fucking like Led Zeppelin, man.
I like some Led Zeppelin.
I like 5 songs.
To go would be the same reason why I would see Guns, and it would be for the experience. To say I got to see Led Zeppelin, I got to see Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Honestly, I went and saw Sabbath almost for the same reason. I wanted to see Sabbath, but it was like, I can say I saw Sabbath.
I did the same with Crew.
I knew you get a band like Motley Crue, a band like Megadeth, and I like Megadeth a little bit. I'm up and down with them a lot, but you know what the set's going to be.
Yep.
I have seen so many concert videos of Megadeth, and it is so predictable.
Yep.
And it's the same with Crew, and it's cool if they're your favorite band, go for it, dude, and that's amazing. It just gets to a point of like, I just know we're gonna get Trust, we're gonna get Symphony of Destruction, we're gonna get Peace Sells, and then we're gonna get Holy Wars. And that's the end of the show. It's like,
yep,
yeah, pretty much. You can probably take Trust out and move that with another one sometimes.
Almost Honest, probably.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe Sweating Bullets. Usually Sweating Bullets is early in the show, but
I like that we're just breaking down music today.
Yeah. It's been a long time since we've done a music-centric cast, so that's more than fine. I listened to the new Ghost EP today.
How is it? I haven't heard it yet.
I liked 2 songs on it. I'm kind of touch and go with Ghost. There are some songs I really like, and then there's some songs I'm like, I don't need to hear that again. Not that it was bad, but it's like there are songs on the definitely on the EP that I feel like never really get anywhere.
That's something that Ghost could be accused of doing from time to time. Just kind of spinning their wheels in one place.
Yeah, the first song on there, that's really good. It's really catchy. I think the last song is also really catchy. The last song really reminds me oh, come on now. I thought of it. I'd have to I'd actually have to listen to it again to when I first listened to it, there's a certain old song that said it really feels like they ripped it off. Not necessarily in a bad way, but you could tell he was influenced by this vocal pattern when he was making the song.
I gotcha.
And it's a song that's very, very iconic for said kind of vocal pattern. And that's a song I like. The other songs, Bible, I think was one that I liked, but I think it went on too long. And the second track was meh. And I think there's only 4 or 5 on there. But
I'll be checking that out after we get done with the podcast.
Yeah, Square Hammer, I think that's the name of the first track. That's really good. And then Missionary Man was pretty good.
I dig it. So Brando, here's my little last second thing I want to do is I want to rant for a second about something, and it's not Angry Nate or anything. It's just
okay.
I think I've gotten a little older.
Do you not realize what tomorrow is?
Well, I do realize what tomorrow is because, see, the thing is, tomorrow's September 22nd, and that's synonymous with 2 things. The first is it's my grandmother's birthday. Shout out to you, Grandma Jeannie. mad love, X's and O's and stuff. But then also, it's your birthday.
It's mine.
And it's a number that's pretty large and round.
Well, thanks. I would rather say it's significant.
It is it is significant. You've reached your third decade, my friend.
Yes.
Successfully, I'm glad.
Yeah, so far, yes, successfully. With some of my sight still left.
Well, hopefully we can get that. I'm so excited that I'll get to see you soon too, which we'll have to talk about. But man, yeah, it's your birthday. You're 30. Not to, I mean, I'll be there next year. No biggie. It's just a number. I mean,
Age is yet but a number. I mean, I'm sure that your dad will attest that the brain feels one age, but the body will feel another.
I can attest to that, Brando.
I can attest to that too, actually.
Yes,
and you
we
know what?
both can.
It's funny that you mentioned how much you were nursing an injured foot or like a constantly or rehabbing some sort of injury. I've had that over the last few months, and knock on wood, here lately it hasn't been bugging me, and I'm just like, thank you.
Some
It is
relief.
such a relief to be able to just slide out of bed and not have to go.
Oh, like stepping on fucking needles.
Well, it's just like, it's really weird because, like, I feel like I'm pretty tolerant to pain, and there's only a few pains in my entire life that have ever crippled me. One has been like severe sciatic pain,
Yeah.
and the second one is like hitting my like really tender heel. Like basically it doesn't hurt until you hit it just right on something and you go, I can't move.
Oh, that's the
But
worst.
like, yeah, early in the morning, you're like, I'm pretty much like not putting my heel on the floor. I'm walking on like the very tippy toes, like, and I'm not trying to sneak through the house, but I'm trying to be quiet. But it's just me like trying not to like moan or like yell too loudly on the pain, and then I finally like get it stretched out enough, and then by the time I get to work, it's fine. And then I ride home, and then from the ride home, when I get out of my car, it's like all over again. I gotta walk into the house. That for me is finally seems to have subsided a little. So hopefully there's a sign. Long time in the car will do it, but thankfully it has not been as intense.
Well, that's good, man. That is super good. So I just wanted to talk on that concert. I'm old and I don't like the way concerts are now. It used to be you go to a show and yeah, people are shoulder to shoulder and up against you or whatever, but there's some wiggle room and it's not scary and it doesn't make you go, what the fuck is people's problems? Like kids nowadays, I guess, or Deftones fans. Maybe that's biased of me to say, but it just seemed like when that band went on, the sensibility and what's the word I'm looking for here? The wherewithal of other humans and human decencies went right out the fucking door. And it was just chaos. And I don't fucking like it. And I think that was it. Like I think unfortunately the last time I'll ever be a part of a quote unquote mosh pit was the fucking Deftones. And I mean, that's a text message.
That is my phone telling me my battery is severely low.
That sucks. I'm glad your battery has not severely done something stupid. Speaking on Samsung problems.
Well, my number is two beneath that, and it's been really well tested. The thing about any sort of new electronic device, whether it's a computer, a phone, a game console, anybody who goes out and gets that day one, people need to remember that they are like the last testers for that thing. Because when you go out and you buy the launch PS4, you are basically almost like an alpha tester at that point.
Yep.
You know, they know it works, but how do they know a million of them are going to work?
They
I mean,
don't.
just look back at the Red Ring of Death on the old 360 and tell me how that worked out for them. Because I tell you what, they have $1 billion hole in their pocket from that. When you look at Samsung and their unfortunate problem with their batteries blowing up, I mean that sucks because I have enjoyed every Samsung phone that I've had. I mean, it literally. I mean, did they push it out too soon? That's what I'm hearing because they were trying to push it out before Apple. But maybe they should have waited. Maybe they should have waited until after the craziness has died down from the iPhone 7. I mean, Caitlin got an iPhone 7 like day one, and I'm not that impressed by it.
Yeah, I have an iPad. I have a Samsung phone. I like them both for different reasons. I use them differently. It's technology. It's always gonna change, honest man. Remember when we fucking took typing class in 3rd grade and shit?
Oh yeah, and you had that like little cloth over your hand so you couldn't cheat.
Yeah, totally. Let's talk about fall TV, Brando. Are I know you don't really have time, and I get that. I do, to watch any of these shows that we're going to touch on real quick. But are you aware of kind of some of the themes that are going on in these seasons of these shows?
Well, let's just say that even though I don't watch for the sake of this show, I keep myself sort of abreast.
Okay.
There's always the chance that down the line I may watch. I mean, I did watch a big long chunk of Arrow.
Yep.
And then I fell off that wagon once Fallout 4 came out, and I never got back on television, other than I think 1 or 2 shows that was able to work into the schedule as far as watching it when it aired. But I mean, I'm sort of aware of what's going on with Flash, with Arrow. Less so on Agents of Shield. I know that they're bringing in Ghost Rider for some reason.
Yeah, I haven't watched the premiere of Gotham or the premiere of Shield yet, so I don't really. I've actually only seen the one trailer for each, so I'm really not that well appraised of what's going on in these seasons. But with Shield, they're bringing in the Robbie Reyes Arid Ghost Rider. He looks cool. There's a lot of crossover potential. I like that they're doing a power play and actually bringing a big name hero to the TV verse that's not the Netflix verse. Speaking of Netflix, real quick, just tangenting. Soon, by the end of next year, they're going to be at 50% original content on Netflix. That's their hope. Anyways.
Next Friday.
Is that Disney?
No, next Friday, September 30th, I do believe, is Luke Cage.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Whoa. Boo. I have to finish Jessica Jones. Holy shit. Anyways, talking about new TV that I've not caught up on, old TV. Anyways, Gotham, this season's Mad City. Looks like there's a bunch of big villains they're bringing to the table. They've evolved Poison Ivy. She's not a little kid anymore. They're teasing that we might see an early version of Bruce trying to be Batman, like a kid Batman, fucking around with the suit and trying to, save people and shit. I don't know if that'll actually happen. We'll see. Flash, obviously they're going to start off with Flashpoint. There's a lot to do there. Supergirl's going to tie into that. Legends of Tomorrow's going to tie into that. Legends of Tomorrow. Just bringing the thunder, announcing so many fucking heroes for that show. This next season is going to be stacked. Bringing, I believe Constantine might be coming to it. Jonah Hex is coming back. God, I want to say I think her name's Stargirl maybe is in this season. Possibly Jay Garrick from The Flash. I mean, it's crazy. Arrow, I don't know what to think about Arrow because I can't tell if the whole season's going to be different because of Flashpoint or if we're going to, I still don't know how that logistics going to work out, and I don't want to get my hopes up thinking it's going to be one way and it might be the other. And then, as we said, Shield with, Ghost Rider. I'm excited, Brando. I love fall TV. It's my favorite time of the year. It seems like it's a revolving door of, oh shit, I got to make sure I watch last night's show. And now that wrestling is really fucking good, Brando, this shit's got to, this aggression will not stand. Damn it. There's too many shows, too much good shit on TV right now.
Yeah. I did. I seem to remember going on a little bit of a rant on Gotham last year or earlier this year. I'm not so sure how I would feel about a little kid Batman trying to do his thing. And granted, I applaud the fact that they're trying to do some stuff, and trying to be different and tell a different story. But I'm just not into it.
Well,
I was into it for the first season, and then as it's evolved and gone on and on and on, it's like, this is morphing into a Batman I don't want to see. So it is unfortunate, but I think I've sort of made my decision to not want to watch Gotham.
they would have to do something pretty drastic to bring you on board at this point.
Yes, I mean, because when you're considering that I didn't finish season 1, and then, but as I said, I know loosely what happens, but I don't really like where they're taking it. So it's like, for them to have to come through, they're going to have to do something really big, because at this point, you're going to have to go back, rewatch 1, watch 2, and then get to wherever they are, wherever it really grips me. As far as fall TV goes, I am excited to see Luke Cage. However, I will be finishing True Detective before I watch any other show.
And you still haven't seen Stranger Things?
I have not, because I refuse to start another show until I have finished said previous show.
Fair.
Because there's already other shows I haven't finished that I'm putting True Detective in front of.
Also fair. I guess it's one of those days I'm bringing Fair back, like episode 100.
Fair? Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Fair. Wait, wasn't that, was that 100 or was that 50?
50. It was 50. It was our super mega jam-packed, had so many guests, it wasn't even funny, juggling motherfuckers left and right.
We were running so far behind, Nate had no time to argue. He's just like, that's fair.
Yep. That's exactly where my brain was at. Like, shit, we got to put the pedal to the metal and keep talking fast, Lots to get through. I don't like that about podcasting. When we do shows, I want to be like, if we go over, cool. The feeling of being rushed makes me feel like I'm not going to remember all my points or say all the shit that I intend on saying. We haven't done a good episode of Journey into Comics in a hot minute, like just me and you broing down. It's been a lot of like little shows where we've been separate. So to get back together and just kind of breeze through this one has been nice.
I thought 100 was going to be rushed because of everything surrounding that.
That was like so chill.
But yeah, once we got the show on, it went as smooth as can be.
Oh, I have something for the podcast that's not. It'll tie in fucking so beautifully right now, Brandon. I'm about to segue unintentionally. So this is a tangent that turns into a segue.
Well, segue.
Oh, I will. So do you know Kerrigan Mahan?
Yes.
He does the voice of Goldar. On his Facebook page, he had a contest to do you sound like Goldar, right?
Yeah.
And I entered, obviously, because I could do a pretty okay Goldar. And in entering, I connected with someone who I think otherwise I probably wouldn't have connected with. But the guy that was Frank Castle at the 100th.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
I found him on motherfrickin' Facebook just because he liked my video. And then he was like, hey, do you remember me? And I was like, dude, yes, I remember you. You were Frank Castle. That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, so speaking of Goldar and Power Ranger things, we got a nice sizable amount of tease today for the upcoming Power Rangers movie with some Zord shots. but they're not quite the Zord shots I would have hoped for.
They're really, a couple of them are really hard to make out detail on what you're actually looking at.
Yeah, I would say the only
Yellow and red are the ones for me that are like, I'm looking at like, what am I seeing?
see, and red, I can tell you that's the back of the T-Rex's leg and the tail. If you
I see. I
look
thought
at
the
it,
thing was the tail, but I couldn't tell what he was standing on or laying on.
it's the leg, and then the
Blue is the easiest one.
Triceratops.
Yeah, bam, done.
And yellow was the foot, I do believe, the back of the saber-tooth's foot.
See, how would you? Come on now. Nobody looks at the back of the saber-toothed foot.
Well, I do. I used to study those toys, damn it, and I'm just visualizing them, re-Hollywoodized, if that's a word. Re-Hollywoodized. I don't think that we shouldn't use that one. So what do you think of these Zord dudes, other than that they're discernible and hard to tell what the fuck you're looking at sometimes?
No, I think I can give a more honest reaction once I actually see a full body shot. It sort of, I mean, their design sort of feeds off what their suits look like. So,
Well, and therein lies another question I'll ask to kind of throw on top of that. What did you think of how they look without the helmets and the suits?
okay.
I liked it. Yeah, I was okay with it.
Now I saw a picture. I don't know if it's legit, where they actually have like the visor and the mouth part missing on the helmet.
I think, I think that's like.
Is that a legit thing? Because I just looked it up on the Googles before we like linked up here.
If you go to comicbook.com, Brando, and go to that Power Ranger article that we just referenced, thanks comicbook.com for providing us with a lot of our headlines, most of them.
Yeah, it's easy.
It is easy. They cover the stuff we want to cover. Okay, so if you go to the new Power Ranger poster, teases new looks at the Zords or whatnot, you go down. I'm pretty sure you can scroll over, and I want to do a little segment here in a second because I saw there's a lot of comments on this. I want to read some of the comments just in real time. Okay, yeah. So after the Blue Ranger, it'll show you a picture, and it's the 5 Rangers, pink, blue, red, black, and yellow, with the visors up. And you can see their human face.
Well, I mean, what other face would they have?
I don't know, alien face, maybe. There are only 3 comments. I hope that this is more serious and more adult-oriented than the Kitty TV show. Yes, it will be. Apparently, that's why Bryan Cranston accepted the role. And then someone else just posted, Iron Man!
He's not altogether wrong with that sort of... That's something that we thought of when they first released the suits. So.
Definitely. Yeah, so I don't hate these Zords yet. I need to see them more full, complete, I guess. Yeah, Pink Ranger and Black Ranger for me are the 2 hardest to discern. I have no idea what either of them are standing on.
Let me see here. Black one, he's standing on a tusk.
Now that you said that, I see it. I do. All right. So then the only one I can't tell is the Pink Ranger.
Ooh,
And I think that's like, is that the head of the
I think
pterodactyl, like bent down in front of her?
I think so.
And then that's the wing.
I think so, yeah.
She's a hoot-looking Pink Ranger, though.
Yeah, who is she again?
I don't know. Who are you, mystery woman? Why are you in Power Rangers? We'll figure it out when the movie comes out, I guess. I'm not looking that up right now. We got other things we should talk about.
That's what I did. That's what I did on Journey to Wrestling. Like we had we had some sort of like fact that neither one of us could remember, and I'm like, I am not looking that up right now.
Speaking of Journey into Wrestling, you and Patrick did an episode without me. I told you guys to do it, so I was excited to listen to it. It's a really neat perspective for me to not only work with you guys, but to be able to take a step back on an episode and hear you guys work together. The flow is different, and I liked it. And I liked that you and Patrick built this new element. And you had mentioned one-on-one, you guys have not really broed down. So that was a nice change. Now, there are some things that have happened in the WWE Universe, Brando. And I want you to just throw 5 or 6 random of the things that have most recently happened at me, and I'll just kind of give you quick fire response. Since I didn't do that episode, I'm not going to go back and have you guys rehash all that shit. We can just quickly cover it here, and I'll give my thoughts. Yeah.
So for one of the first things we talked about is like the slew of new champions.
Okay,
so
congrats to Kevin Owens. Awesome that he's the Universal Champ. I love the style with which they did that. I loved that the work seemed like Triple H kind of went rogue, walked onto TV and said, "I'm picking my fucking champion, fucking pin him." And KO didn't know he was in to win the title. Like it seemed to me watching that they didn't even tell the guys in the back who was going to win. They just said, "Hey, Triple H is going to run interference. Whoever he tells to pin, that's who's going to get the shot. Just be ready." And I'm sure Rollins maybe thought, you don't know. You don't know how much they revealed, because KO genuinely sold me that he was beyond surprised that he actually won. Moving forward, but again, congrats KO, the second Universal Champion, and as of right now, the longest reigning Universal Champion. I love that, the Chris Jericho bit. He's so fucking, it's so good. They're so good together. We've got new tag champs in Heath Slater and Rhino. Heath Slater seems like he's getting too big for his britches already, and I feel like at some point Rhino's going to cross him and be a tag team champ with himself until he either finds a partner or loses them inevitably. A lot of talented tag teams on SmackDown. Not enough, but you've got Ascension's over there. Golden Truth is over there.
Nope, they're on Raw.
Golden Truth is on Raw.
You have the Ascension Vaudevillains. The
American
the
Alpha.
The Heel-Sos. You have American Alpha. There's another babyface. No, there's Breezango.
Yep.
And there might be one more. This is Slater and Rhino.
And then the Headbangers, because they were in the tournament.
They were in the tournament, but they're not back.
Which was awesome. Just to have them as a little tip of the hat, Cool send-off, if you will. Becky Lynch is... You know what? I liked her before she was a champ. And then now that she's a little cocky with her champ, it's a little annoying. Maybe that's wrong of me to think, but like I liked Becky Lynch, but like she's exuding a little bit too much confidence to me. And it's like, hey, you don't really have any competition over here. Like Nikki Bella, okay. Natalia, okay. But Alexa Bliss, come on. She's still got to earn her stripes. She's still, green. She's only been up for what, since the draft.
I really don't like how they have 2 women's champions now.
One division.
Now, we mentioned this on the show that this is Vince's call. He wants each show to have an equal number of champions. And so this wasn't on the show that you missed, but they just debuted the Cruiserweight division on Monday.
Yes, they did. I was getting ready to talk about that.
If that is successful, now I believe we did talk about this on the show that you missed. If this is successful, they're looking at adding a SmackDown.
Okay, folks.
And which I don't like, because number one, they're bragging about. I understand they want to hire more of the cruiserweight guys that were in the tournament. Which is awesome. I mean, you want to give more guys jobs. However, give SmackDown something that is unique. Because before they were bragging, the WWE World Championship is only on SmackDown, the most prestigious belt in entire sports entertainment. Even though the Universal belt looks exactly like it with a pelt swap. So then then you have the two mid card titles. Those are the only ones that look different out of all the belts that are on the damn and like that are active. So I suggested give SmackDown the television championship, make a new television championship. Because it would be a lower mid card title. You can have lower guy like right now. You could have Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews fighting for the television championship with the television rules. It's defended on SmackDown. It's a 10-minute time limit. Defended on a pay-per-view, 15-minute time limit.
I love it.
And it's not weight specific. So then you can have the lower guys like, cause I don't care about Baron Corbin. Jesus. I don't understand. I don't get him. He's not that good of a worker.
No.
And it's almost like he went to the Roman Reigns school about how to be interesting.
And he failed with an F.
And Roman's trying. Roman is trying. Gosh darn it, he really is trying right now. And I give him that. I tip my hat.
I don't
He's
hate Roman, man. I don't.
I don't hate him either.
I just think that. You know what I think it is more than anything, and I think this is something that the WWE universe needs to understand is they're not mad at Roman Reigns. They're mad at the poor handling of Roman Reigns. They're mad at the fact that when he should have had a title shot, when he was literally just on fucking fire, they drop the ball and don't give it to him. They give it to Batista and then spend a year trying to make him something after they fucked up as to make up for the fact that they fucked up, and it was too late. Too late, man.
What really turned the crowd against him was when he was coming back from injury and going to be the guy to win the Rumble. They brought Daniel Bryan back from injury, and it was going to be his Rocky, can he defy the odds again? The crowd instantly bought into that. And as soon as they didn't get that, then it was like, screw this, because at that point it became too obvious who they were going to have win. And I mean, that whole thing was just a big shotgun blast to the shin. But, Roman's not a bad worker. He's not a good worker.
He's getting better. Worker. Oh, yeah, I see what you did there. He's the oh, you bastard.
But, I mean, no, he's not bad, dude. You put him in there with a good guy, they can go. Look at the AJ feud. Those matches tore the house down. Look at this work with Rollins. They can go, man. Roman's reign. Reigns is good. Reigns can be good. Okay? He's not all that interesting. When he's being that stupid, tough guy baby face, he has the personality of a stump. Okay?
Yep.
When you just let him relax and let him get involved in stuff and let it be organic, then he's actually an interesting dude. He's not going to be the Rock 2.0. So don't try to force him into that straight-laced baby face. Make him a tweener. Have him be that I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy thing. He comes out and kicks your ass. But no, he's got to be the next big John Cena. He's got to be out there kissing babies and selling T-shirts. So until they can get him back on track, I don't foresee him being the guy anytime soon. However, we're just going to skip ahead here. I want to get your take on AJ Styles being the new WWE champion.
Okay.
World champion.
So, the champ that runs the camp. All right. So, yeah. Brando, circa... Fuck, man. I would say circa like 2010. I think you and I had conversation after conversation after conversation of what would happen if AJ Styles was in the WWE. And I think we were kind of sold on the fact that it just wouldn't happen. He was TNA's Sting of the WCW. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was their icon. He was their home-built star.
Exactly. More than anyone else, more than anybody else, AJ Styles was their guy. And flash forward to this past Royal Rumble, and, I had been kind of away from wrestling for a little bit of time, only watching here and there, and, just kind of losing interest because it was getting very stale. And AJ Styles, number 3 at the Rumble. And I mean, I remember you and I having conversations after he debuted, and my things were like, man, AJ Styles versus Rollins or AJ Styles versus, you could just name anybody on the roster and it would tear the house down. And it has. Anybody he's worked with has just been A plus match after A plus match. And I think that in and of itself is the reason why he is holding the gold on SmackDown right now. Because he is a guy you can put the company on his back and he'll carry it wherever the fuck you need it for however long you need him to. He is so... he's such a ring technician. He knows... He's so aware of everything that's going on in the ring, and he just times things with such grace it's flawless, man. So for AJ to finally be the guy, and I love the story of, you've got he is the face that runs the place, and then now he's the champ that runs the camp, and then you've got this little narrative where John Cena wants to be Flair, which I just, can I say it? I like John Cena, but do not fucking put him next to Flair in that regard, because some of those titles.
I have a really unique idea.
Okay.
That I've come up with that I can say it here and say it again when we do JIW next week, but I like it, and I like it a lot.
Well, it's up to you.
Which means, of course, it means that they'll never do it. But I mean, if you want me to say it, I will.
Well, you can say it. I just want you to know, though, that everything lately you've called with wrestling and AJ Styles has pretty much been on the money. So go ahead and predict the future, Brando.
Okay, I'm not predicting the future. I'm telling you what I would do.
Okay.
This is Brando Books, okay? Maybe this would become a segment that we do on JIW. Brando Books. So, coming up at No Mercy, it's a triple threat between AJ, Cena, Ambrose. I feel like that is done so that Cena can lose, but lose to where it's contested, where AJ gets a victory, Cena's leaving to go shoot a television show. Carry on. Go on another feud. Either do one more Ambrose match with AJ, or I don't know if they're going to do that, but, move him on to another feud, get him away from Cena. Go to the Rumble. Now, Rumble, you can do it 2 ways. If Balor is ready at the Rumble, he wins the Rumble. No question. If Balor is not ready by the Rumble, Cena wins the Rumble. Surprise entrant. Why? He wants Styles one-on-one. He wants to tie that record because he needs to find out for himself. At this stage in the game, he hasn't held the championship now for almost 3 years. Can I still get the job done? And can I get it done against this guy who is good?
Yeah.
So that's a storyline. That's a storyline they build into. That's a storyline. Can Cena win the big one more time?
I love it.
Going to Mania. Honestly, I don't know. The match doesn't close the show. I think Balor should close the show. So you have the match. You have Flair at ringside. You have a knockdown, drag-out match. A match that only those two can deliver. Cena wins. Goes over. It's his moment. He's had many of them, but this one is even more special. Flair has tears in his eyes. Cena's celebrating. Flair brings him the belt. He's doing the whole bowing thing. And Cena's like, no, you. And then Flair raises his hand up in the air, and Cena's doing he's celebrating, and Flair low blows him.
Ooh.
And the crowd's like, what? And then Styles jumps off the rope with the forearm, knocks Cena down. And then Flair goes, woo. And they walk out together.
Huh, I
And
love
then,
it.
Flair then gets to work a program with Cena. Well, not wrestling. He's chosen AJ. So
Man.
then it's like this whole feud enters another level. Flair's like, in my prime, you couldn't lace my boots. My snakeskin shoes, you, you couldn't lace them. He cuts all those old school promos, right? He goes, I earned my 16 times. You know, how many cheap victories do you have? I earned my spot. You were handed it. You could do so many things. And of course Cena's the champ. So then they start feuding again. They do another match, maybe at the next SmackDown pay-per-view, and they're wrestling, and then there's interference, and it's Bobby Roode. And you're like, what the heck's going on here? Um, and then Cena seems to be like outnumbered, and then the club comes out, and they're all standing around him, and they beat him down, and they hold up four fingers.
Huh. So let me get this straight. That's actually dope. You're gonna essentially recreate the Four Horsemen modern era with
Mm-hmm.
Gallows, Anderson, Styles,
Tag
and
team.
Rude,
Rude's the kind of upper mid card guy, yeah.
and then fucking Flair is their manager type.
Yep.
Fuck yes, sign me up. I'm watching that 7 days a week. Brando Books, you need to be a dude that you need to be fucking Dewey Foley, man. Working on
Now,
becoming a writer.
now the thing is that what this does, WWE owns the Horsemen. They own that moniker. That came with the sale of WCW. There's history with Flair and AJ and TNA. They don't have to say TNA. They can just say history. There's history with Rude. He was a member of Fortune, along with James Storm and Kazarian and Daniels. So they were all in Fortune together, and they did sort of a different version of Horseman over there. But just these four guys, keep it at these four guys. You have your tag team, then you have your upper mid card guy, and you have the main event. Boom, there's your stable.
Love
and then
it.
and then that's your summer storyline is the Horseman storyline.
Yep, I'm sold, Brando. I'm fracking sold. I just sent you a thumbs up on Facebook because I'm trying to read the rundown. Oops.
Well, maybe that was just your subconscious, like trying to tell me how much you like that.
I really liked it. I'll do it again. uh, Fuck, I was gonna say something. There was another wrestling topic-y thing I wanted to touch on really fast. Oh, hey, Brando. So a couple weeks ago, I was at Dad's and I'm killing time, and I just went on like Access TV. I think it's like AXS TV.
Yep.
I guess Mark Cuban owns it. Guess what they show on that channel?
New Japan.
They do show New Japan, and it was my first exposure to New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Evil, EVIL, was facing I can't remember his name. Goto. It was Evil versus Goto. And Naito comes out. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yep.
He was tag team partners with Evil for a while. Brando, the only thing I want to say is he did this fucking move. I can't even explain to you this fucking move. It was the craziest move. Did I already tell you this? Did we already discuss this at all? No?
No.
Okay.
No.
So he does like what do you call it? Was that the fuck? Some of my wrestling brain is off right now. Essentially, when you twist the fucking guy's arm, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like an armbar.
Like a shoulder lock or some shit. You know, when you just like, you kind of like
Yes.
dance around their shoulder and pull it behind their back a little bit.
Okay, so you either got an armbar or a hammerlock.
Hammerlock, for sure. Thank you. So, this Naito puts Goto in the hammerlock, and then he did some fucking weird standing backflip into the Scorpion Death Drop. It was the most insane move I've ever seen in my life. And then I watched like 3.5 fucking hours of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it was really cool because like the club was on there. Like AJ and fucking Gallows and Anderson were on there and shit. Because this was like from before they came over. Like right when they were probably in their prime of being a part of New Japan Pro Wrestling before they said, hey, we're leaving. And Shinsuke Nakamura was on there, and man, he had a fucking barn burner match I watched. Oh man. I'm pretty sure it was against Carl Anderson. If I remember correctly, for some sort of title. I don't remember which one. Overall, though, all I want to say is I really love that New Japan Pro Wrestling and my first exposure to it. I'm really stoked. Catch more of these conversations on Journey into Wrestling, folks. You guys can get that on our YouTube. Just go to Journey into Comics on YouTube. You can find us or search Journey into Wrestling. I'm sure we'll come up.
Plug.
Yeah, it was a cheap plug.
How about this? How about if we share if we put the playlist link in the description of this episode?
Sure, we can do that. Yeah, down below us if you're on Podbean. If not, go to fucking Podbean and you can see this one time. But you can click the link and you'll go to where Journey into Wrestling is. If you're a wrestling mark, we talk about wrestling. We fucking love it. It's what we do. It's what we know. We've yelled at people and gotten into arguments over with people with wrestling. That's how much we love it. Brando, to come back full circle into Journey into Comics, Justice League, mother effer. It's getting closer. Justice League is next year. Wonder Woman is next year. Wait, is Justice League 2018, 2017? Fuck.
I
Is it? It's
I don't know if
2017.
it got pushed back.
I think it's 2017 still. I feel like Wonder Woman's
Is it-
February of 2017, and then like Justice League's like their summer hit 2017.
Is it their summer or is it their November?
It could be their November.
Is that movie coming out 1 month before Star Wars?
Justice League movie. I'm Googling it now. It is set for 2017. November 16th of that was the initial release date, was supposed to be this year. Holy shit. But November 17th of 2017. So they just moved it a year and a day. So yeah, a month before the episode 8 drops. That's pretty fucking ballsy. But all right, so just talking about Justice League for a few minutes. Batman Day was a little bit back, like last Saturday, or this past Saturday. Zack Snyder dropped a picture with Batman with like armor, bat armor. Did you see that picture?
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Night Owl.
Yeah, with like the goggles.
Yeah, it's hard. I hate to say
it. It's like tactical suit or something like that.
Yeah, it's a tactical suit that apparently flies some sort of other vehicle, from what I understand.
Well, it's kind of cool because, like, if you grew up, like, in the 80s and 90s, there were so many variant Batman suits.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That they came out with. So, I mean, it's kind of cool that they're doing that with this because it kind of showcases, like, like Bat's resourcefulness,
Yeah, and you got to think he's going to be very resourceful. There's also been a rumor about Justice League, the teasing of the Superman suit. Did you hear about this?
The black suit?
It's all black.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing what I assumed they would do. We kind of got the teaser at the end of BVS. Yeah. I'm excited. Oh, and then they showed a picture of J.K. Simmons
Word.
up on the top of GCPD with the bat signal. It's fucking exciting, man. I'm getting ramped up for it.
And for the solo Batfleck movie, Deathstroke.
Thank you. I almost forgot. Yes. And what's that guy's name? He's a handsome mother fella.
He's from Magic Mike. He was the Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Joey.
Yeah. Some.
Joey. Garigano.
It starts with an M. It's very Italian.
Or
There's a lot of eyes.
It reminded me of like the guy that plays Clowney in like the Spawn movie.
Okay.
Joe like Leguizamo or something like that.
John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
But that's like totally not his name.
Totally not even close. Anyways, I think it's a great choice. He'll do great up against Ben Affleck's Batman.
I just think it's awesome to get a big screen Deathstroke.
Yeah, and they aren't even afraid of it. You know, and I think that another thing is that DC, as really ever since Jeff Johns kind of took over there, is definitely moved into this. They're not afraid to do the multiverse thing. I think that's coming to light with the amount of other superheroes we're having show up in these TV shows. I mean, Superman is coming to Supergirl, or coming in Supergirl if you're that poster.
Yeah.
I didn't forget, don't worry. And he looks good. He looks good as Superman, but just this world is really interesting right now because I feel like DC is really trying to make up for lost ground. I feel like they thought they had a out the park homer with BVS, and they didn't. It could have been, but it wasn't. And with that being said, they feel
it was a double at best.
It was a hard double at best, yeah. But with that being said, they're trying to make up for lost ground. And they're trying. I mean, they're not afraid. They're doing Flashpoint season 3 of the Flash. They're literally just going fuck all rules. This would be like something a lot of other shows would be like. It's our 7th season. We got to pull something out. What do you want to do? Fucking do Flashpoint. It'll get people into it again. Nope. They just said we're fine. We got a billion years of material, and we're just going to keep writing away. With that being said, man, like I said, Justice League, I'm stoked. Before that, though, we got Doctor Strange coming up, only a couple months away for that. Lastly, talking about rebooting universes and stuff, Brando, and I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like one of your favorite superheroes. But Todd McFarlane, he's rebooting Spawn. Like, are you like?
Yeah, it's about time.
I was gonna say, like, are you just like over the moon excited?
I won't be until I see some pictures, some stills, or like a teaser, because there's been talk of this happening before.
Yeah, that's true, and it never comes to fruition.
Like, it was about 10 years ago or 8 years ago, where once you had like The Dark Knight come out, and it was a successful, darker superhero movie, and then McFarlane's like, well, why isn't there a new Spawn movie? He would be perfect for this era. And, he's right. A darker movie can definitely succeed now.
Well, I think a darker movie now is going to set itself apart from DC's execs just came out and said DCU is going to start to take a lighter turn. We have to get away from going so dark all the time. And I think that's going to... Look, let DC and Marvel be a little bit goofy as they are in the comics and have some fun. Let Spawn be your dark... you can set up a really cool, grimy universe for Spawn and have a lot of material
I almost
to
said
play
Dark
with.
Horse, but it's Image.
It is very Image. Todd McFarlane founded Image, actually. So yeah, I mean, man, I'm so excited. I hope that it actually comes to fruition. If it doesn't, well, then we're just going to be left wanting. But I mean,
Something that is happening.
What? What is happening?
There's something that is happening that I'm really excited for.
Do tell.
Is that they're finally making the Dark Tower.
Yes, I know. Stephen King's The Dark Tower.
And with Idris Elba as our hero Roland, and McConaughey is the Man in Black.
That's sick.
And they already have some movies that everyone has signed on for, and then they're going to do a television series set in between a couple of the movies to help tell the full story. And a couple of the actors have already signed on for that. I think the only one who hasn't is McConaughey.
Of course.
They're expecting him to, before too long.
I was going to say something. Oh, you brought up Stephen King real quick before we're calling this thing a day. Do you like a lot of Stephen King stuff?
It's hit and miss.
Okay, did you see 11/22/63?
And this series on Hulu?
Correct.
That was with what's the actor's name? Spider-Man.
James Franco. Yep.
Osborn? James Franco.
Correct.
No, I did not see that, but that was about going back in time, I do believe.
Yes, it is. We just finished it, and let me tell you, it's great. It's a little twisty. It's got some twists and turns, and it really does build tension. The first couple episodes, you feel like it could be a horror series, then it's kind of a love story, then it's kind of a drama, then there's so many different things, and then there's so much. But essentially, the idea is Chris Cooper's character convinces James Franco to use this loophole to go back to 1960 and start his journey to figuring out whether or not Lee Harvey Oswald is the man that ultimately pulls the trigger to kill JFK. If he can figure out that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, he can maybe stop Lee Harvey Oswald from killing JFK and essentially make the future better. And it plays on the fact that if he goes through the wormhole and comes back through the wormhole, so if he goes to the future, if he stays there, that's the future. It's done. That's how he said it. But if he goes back to the past, it resets everything and goes to 1960 again. And whatever decisions he makes in 1960 will affect wherever he ends up going, which the loophole is 2016. It's very interesting. I think you'd love it. It was a book as well, obviously Stephen King. Yep. But J.J. Abrams worked on it. It was great. It's only 8 episodes. Totally worth it. Brando, this was we talked about a lot of shit episode of Journey into Comics.
You know what? It had been a long time since we had sat down and actually had a good one-on-one conversation, so I was really happy to finally get together and finally let the stars align.
I know.
And then I'm really excited to see you next week, and not putting anything in writing, but with time off and the way hopefully things work out, we might be doing 4 podcasts next week.
I know, across a bunch of different channels and ideas and special guests coming back to Journey into Comics for the first time in a hot minute, and there's a lot of fires in the what is that? A lot of coals in the fire, a lot of irons in the fire. I don't know what the fucking saying is, but there's a lot of stuff with fire.
A lot of irons, a lot of iron on the coal, or
some shit
isn't that
like
what you
that.
do? You put your iron on the core, and then you beat it with a mallet, and you make a sword out of it.
Sure, yeah, and then you stab motherfuckers. But don't stab people, folks. I'm not condoning violence. I'm old, and I don't want violent things to happen anymore. Mosh pits are too violent for me at the end.
Rabble.
Anyways, folks, this was episode 110 of Journey into Comics, Attack of the Chode Experience. If you want, you can check us out on Facebook at Journey into Comics Podcast. You can go on Instagram at Journey into Comics, Twitter at JIC Podcast. You can go to YouTube and search Journey into Comics. If you go to journeyintocomics.podbean.com, you can find all the links for all the things and all the ways to find us. And if that does it, I'm Nate.
If that does not do it.
Oh, Brando sliding in there. I love it.
No, I'm gonna let you finish. Okay, I'm gonna pull a Patrick. Gonna Kanye you on your own show. Anyway, if you go to YouTube, you can check out all the other side podcasts that we do that are like that have been begat from this show, like the Game Addicts podcast with myself and my friend Mike, where we just geek out about games, like Journey into Wrestling, which me and my good pal here Nate and our good friend Patrick geek out about wrestling, or Foodies Watching Movies, where my co-host Nate and his co-host Veronica and maybe a guest or two watch a movie and just riff and talk about food and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and actually, if everything goes to plan, okay? If everything goes to plan, all of those shows are being taken care of next week. Every single show we do will have an episode.
Yep.
But you're going to be on Foodies Watching Movies, and I wanted to save this. So we're doing 89 Batman with you on. So we do have a third co-host, my buddy Poor Boy. He was on episode 1. We're going to probably keep him on for the long haul as long as he's willing to make the drives, and so far it seems like he really wants to. Veronica and I were kind of throwing back and forth, what do we want to have for dinner? And she threw out the smartest thing on earth, and I think you're going to love it. We're having wings, Brando. Bat wings.
Awesome.
Yeah, right? That'll be great. So, and we're going to probably also make some sort of a Joker drink that she found. It looks pretty delicious. Obviously, there'll be dessert treats. Her cupcakes are on fire. Maybe we can make s'mores cupcakes or some shit. Those are delicious. But enough about that. This was episode, again, 110 of Journey into Comics. Brando, it was great to chat with you, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.
Always great to get with you.
Heck yeah, man. All right, bro. Well, if that does it, I think it does for me. I'm Nate.
I'm Brando.
And we'll see you guys next time and shit. Later.